guys.
Hey guys.
Today we talk to
David and Leo
from Untitled Chapter about their upcoming album.
Hey Sunny. It comes out March 8th.
So check it out. Let's roll the tape. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
I'm great. How are you?
Hey.
How's it going?
We're good. You guys hear us good?
Yeah, we can. Hi.
Oh,
All
well, thank you
right.
for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you so much.
Where are you guys?
I'm in Florida.
I'm in Atlanta.
And so you okay. So how do you know each other? What's the
We met
Twitter.
online. Twitter.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So
Yeah.
so this is like a virtual relationship as well. Like you guys do this in different places. You guys ever meet up? Are you together
Yeah.
at all? Or?
Yeah, we've met up a couple times.
Wow, that's cool. This is I guess this is the future, right? Like people you don't need to be in the same place, and you can enjoy similar things and make things happen being in different places.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically what Hazy is. Just talking about stuff we like
Yeah.
getting people together.
Not different than me and Leo. So Leo and I met in Brazil, in Rio, when I was living there, and where he still lives. And we started the band, but now I live in Brooklyn, and Leo still lives in Rio, and comes up to New York periodically to do shows. So we kind of have a similar thing to you guys. We work in different continents basically, and
I speak English well though. I'm just more quiet than he is.
Yeah.
Right.
You ask me a question directly, I'll respond.
Okay.
Okay.
No, because I think Hazy, because we were checking your guys' Instagram, it's like Kidla chatting.
Oh yeah.
Kidla chatting.
We feel like we're similar to
really?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
Finally, somebody saw it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
That
it.
Yeah, we watched
That was
it.
one of the 6 views that we got. We really appreciate it, man. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It was
So
me.
do you remember how you came upon it?
No, because I saw it when I found you guys' Instagram. Because I found it through Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
From Nation. Yeah, he's our bassist. Yeah.
Yeah. So I found you guys through Nation of Language, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta check this band. And then I
cool.
checked you guys out, and then I found
Yeah,
Kidla
Nice.
and
chatting.
Juliana showed me your guys' music, and I love it.
Oh,
Man,
thank
that
you.
means so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, how was the process of making this album? Because I know you guys were in like 2 different parts of the world. How do you do it?
Basically, we write kind of through Dropbox. We both have our little home studios.
Well, we met in Brazil about 7 years ago, and we became friends instantly, and we shared a bond through music. And I had a little home studio, and we decided to just start making music without any pretense to do anything really. It was more like just 2 guys who enjoyed each other's company and wanted to make music together. And we ended up putting up we did at the time I think it was 20 songs, out of which we picked 10. And we decided to hey, let's just do it ourselves. So we learned kind of while we were doing it. And technology, as you guys must know well, enables you to do so many things nowadays. You can make a movie without a lot of overhead costs, as long as you have a little bit of equipment and stuff. So we learned that. So that was kind of our first step in that, which kind of prepared us for the moment when David said, I have to leave and go to New York to try and to find, I mean, you could speak to that, but we were able to maintain a communication because we kind of had established something like that before. And then once we learned to do work through Dropbox, where I save something, he opens it, and he kind of does his contribution. Then I open it, I see what he did, I delete it, or I add to it, or vice versa. And we kind of end up creating a boilerplate of a song, which eventually, when we're together, we finalize.
So Leo will come up to Brooklyn, every couple months, and we'll do shows and we'll work. And we had we write a lot, and we probably had like 30 songs or something that we kind of had mapped out, and then from that we bring it down to like 15, 10. And so we decided the songs that we wanted to work with, and so we went into the studio in November at Trout Recording with two guys, two producers, Bryce Goggin and Bobby Lewis. And so we went into the studio, and we had 2 weeks of kind of just like literally like 12-hour days, just like straight for 2 weeks, taking all the material that we had and kind of like readapting it into a live setting, where recording everything properly and recording like live drums, because we like program most of the drums, but like recording live drums, recording all the guitars, all the keys. We would, a lot of the stuff that we would keep as is, like synthesizers and things that we use, we didn't re-record that. But so it was a great setting because we actually kind of like played live, and we had two really good guys working with us, and it was really special. It's a great studio, and I think it's an interesting process, taking this thing that we kind of do virtually and then trying to make it analog or live, or putting people together to make it happen. And so there's like definitely like good things that come from that, but then there's like conflicts because you have this idea of how things need to be because you've already kind of like mapped it out on the computer, and then trying to put that in a place where humans interact, making it happen. But I think the way that we are very open and work with music is like we are open to anything. We're very open, and we have no we can easily let things take the form they need to take, without any what's the word, like
Without any
apprehension,
preciousness.
Without any preciousness, we let things happen. And sometimes, I mean, like even songs we've been worked on for like a year, and maybe I'm working on lyrics like and thinking I'm the greatest poet ever, and then I show it to Leo, and he's like, wow, I don't really like that, and like it doesn't hurt me to hear that, and we'll get rid of it, or maybe we'll take 2 phrases or a word or one melody or something and go on. So we're very like, I guess, like organic and letting things be how they need to be. So, and that did happen in the studio, which
yeah, well, if I might just, every time you start anything, I'm sure you guys know this too. You have the idea of an idea finished in its completion, right? And in your mind, you can imagine it in all its glory and beauty. But then when you finally sit down to actually try to do it, there's a lot of work and a lot of frustration and a lot of fun that you can have if you have the right mindset. And I think that's what we kind of like. I think to summarize what I agree with him is like there are a lot of frustrations to get to a point where you're like, okay, this is done, and this is as close to what my imagination wishes, and you just have to kind of enjoy the process and learn to communicate with people to get the result you hope.
Yeah, you gotta be like close with the other person so it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have we've always had. I mean, from day one, we've always been very open to each other. And again, that preciousness he was talking about doesn't exist, because sometimes I'll play an idea on like a guitar, and he'll be like, "Man, that's not great," and I won't take it personally because I know it comes from a place of wanting to get to this great version. Likewise, sometimes he'll sing something, and I'm like, I'm not into that lyric, or I'm like,
it doesn't happen very often because
it's Mozart over here. But yes, like it's always you have to enjoy the process because the results are always it's like fleeting. That's it. Sorry,
the results are always fleeting. I do think, I mean, even like now rehearsing for the show, I almost enjoy rehearsing more than the actual show. Like I enjoy, like for example, the studio process to me is like one of my favorite things in the world.
Me too.
And then when it's ready, or when it's finished, or when you master it, it's always kind of a bittersweet feeling because you're like, fuck, now what do we do? Like right. It just feels kind of bad.
Ooh.
And like I love that process. I love being in the studio with my friends. I love rehearsing. I love like going, you know, like plugging stuff in and figuring out the mic. Because the show, it's like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. It's so fast. You like, it goes by and it's done. And like all this work you've done for it, like if the only fun thing is like the actual end product, it's a very like ungracious or ungratifying, ungratifying process. I think you have to enjoy the whole thing almost even more than what it turns into, because
Absolutely, yeah. I agree.
Well, that's a very interesting process.
yeah, it's, so how did you guys so where did you guys click? Like what, so you met online and then like what kind of, like, was it because of the music, or did you like, you guys
It was music. We listened to like the same bands, and then we like ended up finding each other. This was like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, and we just got closer and closer. So I actually have a question about the upcoming album. So it's called Hey Sunny, right?
Yeah.
What's the story behind the title?
Well, fun fact. So the studio's owner and producer that produced the album, he has this beautiful, maybe the kindest hearted, most human, welcoming animal in the world. It's his dog. His name is Sunny.
Oh.
And so, and Sunny was always around in the studio. And like literally we would get to the studio like at 8 in the morning, and like just like our first thing that we would say is, "Hey, Sonny," as soon as we got there, because he would be the welcoming face to the studio.
So we thought it was an interesting representation of the process, since it was our first album in the studio. Fun fact, though, his name is spelled Sonny, and then we're like, hey, we might as well just call it Sunny, because it's also like a joyous, like solar disposition that he had.
And I think there was like this kind of feeling of like the winter, you know, happening now, and like we did the album kind of like at the beginning of winter here, and I don't know if you guys know, but winter in New York can be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And so there was
I was
like,
there in December. It's so bad.
Yeah, and so there's this feeling of like hoping for something new, and like the whole idea of like COVID kind of like, you know, just depressing everybody, and so this idea of like Hey Sunny was just because it's not a song, it's not a lyric, it's just literally it's the dog.
There is one deep. You'll have to listen very hard for it, and you might not recognize the sound. There's one song where Sunny's tail hit my guitar just right when we were like recording, and it made this wonderful percussive sound.
Well, what
happened with the effects?
What happened was we noticed that, so we were recording a song, and we noticed that Sunny's tail was wagging perfectly in time with the song. And so Leo put his guitar up to Leo put his guitar up to the tail, and like the tail was playing the guitar. So Sunny is the 6th member of the band.
We got like a credit, a writing.
Yeah, we got to give him a writing credit.
Performance credit.
Yeah, performance credit. Yeah.
What song is it?
Yeah.
So there's a song called "Don't Leave Me Hanging."
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
On the second verse, you'll hear like a. Now imagine a dog's tail hitting the guitar.
It's like, so it's like the effect that Leo has in his guitar, but it's actually Sunny's tail playing the effect.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
That made me
like,
love the album even
like,
more now.
Yeah,
made me like when we came up with that lyric, I was like, man, it has to be something joyous.
Yeah.
And you could try to come up with like a cool name or
Yeah,
something.
because we had all these names and ideas and stuff, and like Leo's like a very big
guy.
Yeah, you are a corny guy, but Leo's a very big Radiohead fan.
Me too.
And so there was the idea of like trying to find a lyric, some part of lyrics that could be the name of the album, which that
didn't happen.
But it didn't happen. So we were just
we just like the dog a lot. So
yeah, and he's like the sweetest dog ever, man. And like, oh my God, so we'd have lunch in the studio, and those like he was so, like dogs love eating people's food, and like it would break our hearts.
Was that your favorite song to make?
Don't Leave Me Hanging is a very fun one to play for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's got a bunch of like different moments, and it's enjoyable, and like we're actually gonna do it in the show, so we were like revisiting. I was like, wow, this one is a good one, like to play. but I'm kind of partial to Back to School at the moment. I kind of really don't think that one.
We were listening to the album and I liked Back to School. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad.
I really like I love Don't Leave Me Hanging, and personally I think it's like I really like that chorus. I think it's a beautiful chorus. But I really like I Want to Be Your Zero. I think it might be the like the best for me, like the best song on the album. Because it's such a simple melody, and I think the lyrics are great, and it's kind of a very simple song. And we're actually gonna play it in the show.
Mine
Like,
keeps rotating all the time.
But it changes a little bit. I really like playing Horseshoes and Hand Grenades too. Like,
Yeah.
because now
Juliana
I
likes
can't
that one.
listen to the
Love
Yeah.
that
I
one.
can't listen to the album like you guys listen to the album, because like when I hear it, I hear all the decisions we made, and I'm always questioning, should we done this differently here or whatever. So it's never like, it's always a frustrating listen, even though I'm happy with the result. It's so hard to describe. But when you play it live, that's when it regains a new meaning to me, you know, like, and Don't Leave Me Hanging and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades are very fun to play live.
Yeah, they're fun.
And they work really well live, you know. The Others is a lot of fun to play.
The
live.
Others is I think the whole show has been really fun. It's been this rehearsal has been great, and like trying to take these songs live, because basically the band is me and Leo, and we have some musicians that that always, like Mike from National Language, that's been playing with us for like 4 years. We actually went back to Brazil 3 years ago and played this phenomenal festival called Rock the Mountain, and it's like a huge festival, like, and we played in the afternoon for like, I guess like a pretty small audience, but it was such a pleasure to be able to like go back to Rio after me being here in New York and play. But we played that as a trio, because it was me, Leo, and Mike, and we play along to like tracks, like the song's tracks. And since I've been in New York, we've found musicians, and been, had like, Mike's always been the bassist. Actually, Ryan was playing bass for a while from Fair Visions, and but Mike's back with us now, and now we have like a full band, so it'll be like a live setting, like properly live, which is really cool, which is different because we record, very like programmed, and we use, a lot of plugins and whatnot to record the music, and to like bring it into like a live setting is very cool.
It's cute that you guys got to bond over music, all of you.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's it's so cliche to say that like, music brings people together, but like here you are in Florida and Atlanta, and like you guys are, and that, I mean, I do think that's something very beautiful about technology, is like you can be anywhere and you can meet people and you can experience things and not need to be like in the same neighborhood or in the same high school or whatever. You can, that's something very new that like your generation is definitely gonna like be able to evolve with. And like it's cool to meet people that are in completely different places that you share such similarities with, whether it be music or whatever, food or art, or I don't know. Yeah.
You just need to you're fun to make anything right now, like.
Yeah,
I know, really. You could
make everything there.
You could probably record an album on your phone now at this point, and like
tons of people do.
Yeah, we have a friend that we talked to her, and she recorded her whole EP
on her phone.
Who is this?
Oh, a friend. Also, you like her name is Stargirl.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
She's really cool. Her music's so good. You'll like her.
All you need is an idea and maybe an iPhone or a Mac, because it's easy.
Yeah.
Like all in all fairness, Apple seems to be a little easier for you to get things going.
With like Logic and stuff.
or movie wise too. Sorry.
With like Logic on the Mac. That's what I.
Yeah, that's what we use. We use Logic.
Oh,
yeah.
do you
make music also?
Yeah, I do.
She does.
Oh, cool.
She's really good.
Awesome.
She just reached
Oh,
out.
cool.
I don't have
Amazing.
anything good out yet.
Nice.
I'm trying to like make a bunch of
does.
stuff and release it.
But just do it. Don't wait.
So just getting back to you guys a little bit. So you guys bonded over the Arctic Monkeys. And then the idea was like, hey, let's do a music vlog. Let's reach out to the bands and like, or like, so what? How did that?
It was really like out of the blue. We're like, we should do this, and then we just did it. And everyone's always asking like how we did it. We're like, just do it. Like,
just start your thing.
That's it. That's our story of our life here.
It's literally
just
it's like
doing stuff.
if you wait around for the perfect setting, that'll never happen. You like you have the technology, you have the ability to do it. Just do it. Like make music, write it. You can record it. You can
Also, do you guys hear my cat crying? Sorry, she's been crying the whole time, and I'm like, okay,
dude,
good.
it's so loud. We're like in a restaurant. It's so loud here. It's like I can't hear. But that's cool because we're kidless shots, so it's always good to have a cat around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got two. Let me hold on. Let me open the door for her. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let her in. Let her in.
Wow. So the one that was trying to run away, but I got this other one. She's really mad right now.
Guy.
Leia, say hi.
What's your name,
like
Leia?
Leia, yeah. She's a girl.
She's so cute.
She's really mad right now.
She's like, let me girl. She's so skittish.
Oh yeah. I have a cat too.
Well,
really?
so Leo's cat is where the name came from because, so Leo had this poster in his room. It was Savon Le Chat, which is like this French soap company from like the 1800s or something.
Not 1800s.
Like late 1800s, but it's like a really cool poster.
It's still around though.
Yeah. And it's Savon Le Chat. And so one day, like Leo's cat, which his name is Gijo, I call him the Fuzz because he's very furry. And he was like playing around on the floor, and we were like, "Oh, it looks like a little kid." And I like we looked up at the poster, and it was like Kid Le Chat, like Kid the Cat. So that's where the name comes from.
That's the name of the band.
Yeah. Oh wait, you were gonna show us your bass.
Oh, you want to see it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look it. I just got my bass, so like
it
looks like this. It was only like $100, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
dude,
like,
does the job.
But price means nothing. What matters is what you do with it and like how you play it and how you enjoy it. Yeah.
I agree.
I just bought a $350 guitar, which that's what I'm going to use on the show because I like the way it sounded.
Oh, what kind of guitar?
Well, it's a Squire, which is like the poor man's Fender.
Yeah.
But it is a beautiful Mustang.
It looks really cool. Yeah, it sounds.
It's got a great sound, and it's like a little guy, like a kind of like a short scale neck. So it's easier to play.
Yeah.
Even though I'm overshooting sometimes, so I gotta practice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a cool guitar.
Yeah, no, it's got a great tone and like it sounds good with my effects and stuff. I'm very happy with it.
You guys talking about guitars and stuff, and I'm like, I play nothing.
You gotta learn something. Julie, I'll teach you something.
Guitar Center is our favorite place in the world. Like we go to Guitar Center on 14th Street in the city. That's like we just like go there and hang out, and I'll play drums and like Leo will be jamming on a guitar. Like
keep it a secret.
Leonard, I didn't catch what your bass was. Is that a Fender or?
Oh no, it's not like it's like an off-brand. I think it's called like Glary or something. I got it from Amazon. I just like ordered it and I'm like,
it sounds good, then it's good.
Yeah.
No, it's actually so good for the price.
Cool.
Yeah.
And are you a finger picker or you use bass?
I both. The pick and then the fingers, yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on the song, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And are you taking lessons or are you self-taught?
I'm teaching myself. I do that with every instrument.
Yeah.
I like to just like listen to other people play and then go along with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's but like dude, like on YouTube, like you can learn anything. Anybody can learn anything anymore. It's like it's just about doing it. It's just about like putting yourself out there and like trying stuff and like going for it.
No, that was
like you guys did with this blog.
Right?
No, that was literally me learning English.
Oh yeah.
What's your native language?
It's Spanish.
Juliana.
Where are you from?
Venezuela.
Oh wow.
So
cool.
we're neighbors.
Yeah, we're neighbors. Yeah. Wow. Nice. So how long have you been in the States?
I had a feeling because your name is Medina.
Yeah.
Juliana, that's
yeah.
So you guys listen to the album and you have some songs that you prefer, right? Like
Yeah. The Others is really good. That's one of my favorites. And then Back to School. Those were
wow.
my favorite.
Cool.
Yeah, you had said that. What about you?
Mine are Hitman and Bodega Nights.
Oh wow. Awesome.
And we were actually together when you sent Juliana
Yeah.
the link because I was in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
We went to the Mitski show the night
Yeah.
before, and we were like dead
Yeah,
the morning
cool.
after.
No, she's doing really well. I don't know her music. Honestly, like it's a weird thing. I don't listen to a lot of music, which might sound odd. I kind of have like a couple of albums, like a couple of bands that I really, because I'm a creature of habit and I get stuck in these little cycles of things that I really
No,
like.
I feel that.
It's hard
I feel
for me
that.
to get out, oddly. Yeah. But I know she's doing really well. And I know actually we got like, there's like a radio, like a college radio station in Atlanta that started playing Back to School, I think, and it was like on the top 10 ads, and Mitski, she was like the top. We were like
Yeah, she
number
was the
5.
second.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh my god, what? I do have a question now that we're talking about listening to music. Were there any albums or any artists that you were listening to while making the album?
That might have had an influence.
Yes. I go through phases where I listen to a lot of stuff, and I just listen to that. Like Radiohead, I love all the time. It's just like a band that's my favorite band in the world. I'm not sure how much they influence they probably do, like subconsciously and stuff. But we listen to a lot of 80s music that gives us a lot of joy. And the more cliche the sound, the more I like it. You know, like, 'cause it brings me back to a time when I was young. And like, for example, I love Tears for Fears a lot. And it always kind of something that I listen to when I'm doing something that I think might sound like. I see, well, what does the drum sound like when they do it, or the synth they're using? You know?
Yeah,
I feel like
I think like a lot of 80s stuff. Like one album that is just so nostalgic for me, and oddly maybe it doesn't really influence me musically. It influences me more like just in a general nostalgia. Is Paul Simon's Graceland. I don't know if you haven't heard it. Like that's something that like it's like a very magical moment in my youth. Like remembering like my parents played that album. A lot of Talking Heads.
yeah,
Like super Talking Heads all the time. And like of more newer stuff, I know one band and one album that like when Leo and I met and we started making music, we would listen to a lot, and that was Phoenix.
Yeah, I love it.
But what album?
Wolfgang Amadeus.
Yeah, Wolfgang Amadeus. That like, dude, we would listen to that album so much, and that definitely had an impact like on our early kind of starting to make music together. Recently, I don't know, what have we listened to recently that like.
Well, I listen to a lot of different stuff than you do, actually.
Yeah, we don't like.
Technically, we have this kind of like kindred spirits in making music, but in listening to music, I enjoy. I listen to a lot of Nine Inch Nails. I love it. Like I love Trent Reznor's work. Like I'm a big soundtrack guy. I listen to a lot of soundtracks.
Well, Tame Impala, we listened to a lot of Tame Impala back in the beginnings.
That too.
I'm a big Ozzy Osbourne fan. Like I love 80s Ozzy, and like I will watch like 80s Ozzy videos like late night before bed, because I think he's just the weirdest guy. And like I don't know, there's something about like that vibe of like 80s Ozzy playing like in Moscow, like at the Freedom Fest. Like dude, he's such an odd, and his voice is so particular and like so like amazing. And there's just something weird about it that I think is really cool also. But we listen to a lot of like, I guess just each other. And like, it's like Leo's constantly sending music and Leo sent me these little snippets of like a weird little synth thing that he's done. And it'll be humming out like a melody. I mean, so I Want to Be Your Zero on the album was that like, he sent me this like little synth thing that he did. And he had kind of like, maybe like 60% of the lyrics kind of like, there, and he like hummed it out, and I'll literally be on the subway like listening to the song, and I know the feeling of when something really hits me. Like I'll literally like at the moment like words will start coming out, and I'll just start writing them down, and I'll send it to him, and then we go like kind of like tennis, you know, like or ping pong. We'll like go back and forth with like some ideas, and then it turns into something.
Yeah, like I'm of the opinion that there's so much music in the world, and there's been so many years of people making music that basically like chord progressions, they're all already been done at some point, some format of that. So if you can find a dressing for a particular chord format, like it's in the timbres, and if you can find an interesting, like I always start a song, if I can find one sound that excites me, if I just play one note, then I know I can make a song out of it. Like that's how I kind of like it. I think we operate like that, because if I find that one sound, I send it to him. Either he's gonna like it, or he's very honest. He's like, "Nah, it sucks," and then I'll go back and I'll either refine it or I'll give up and cry afterwards. But it's a fun process in any case. Yeah. Not so much the crying part, but
we cry a lot. There's a lot of crying.
Oh no, we do too. We
We're
have
always
crying
crying.
sessions every night.
Every day,
But
every day.
I do feel the 80s vibe
Yeah,
from the album.
me
oh
too.
Yeah. Well, that's our DNA for sure. Is like just that synthy, like kind of upbeat, good feeling. Even though we're like, it's like Tears of a Clown, you know, we're all dead inside, but like the music has to feel good, you know.
Right,
Fun.
right.
Some people who have listened to it have mentioned that there's and I see Frankenstein in the best sense of the word, like that we put together pieces of songs, and they're like, I kind of like a song that tells a story, and it's not like just verse, chorus, verse, outro, verse, whatever. A lot of our songs, they kind of have like moments that don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that's weird, but I don't know if I have ADD or something, but I really
No,
like.
it's fun because it's unexpected.
Yeah,
You
it's
never know
more
what's gonna
enjoyable
happen
to
in the
listen
song.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hope. I hope people don't think like we're just schizophrenics or something like that.
I do. I hope they think you're schizophrenic.
No, but that is one thing. Like, it always helps to imagine that you can always do better and always strive, never be satisfied. Even if you achieve a little something, never think it's enough. Just keep
Pushing it.
Keep
pushing
going.
Have you guys seen Crocodile Dundee?
I think I have.
No.
All right.
I
So
think so,
tonight's
but like a long time ago.
tonight's homework is watch Crocodile Dundee, because it's one of the best soundtracks. It's like one of the best 80s movies, and that soundtrack is a very important. That's a very important movie for the both of us.
Is that your favorite soundtrack?
Well, it's in a list of. I love many soundtracks.
It's definitely top 10. It's
Maybe
like
it is one of your favorites.
it's one of my favorites.
I
yeah,
love
for
it,
sure.
but I love soundtracks so much I can't pick a favorite. You know,
There's a lot of good ones.
like I could mention off my head a couple that come to mind. Like I like
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood was good, but Bram Stoker's Dracula has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah.
With Keanu Reeves, he's a good guy, but he's not great in it. But
No, I love that movie.
Gary Oldman
Not
is
the-
great dragon.
Not the Keanu Reeves lander.
Blade Runner, of course.
Blade
Oh,
Runner.
yeah.
That's my favorite.
Vangelis, yes. I love like all the soundtracks Trent Reznor has made, for like Social Network and The Girl with the Dragon
that one.
Tattoo. I listen to those all the time.
And then like older stuff. I mean, anything Ennio Morricone's ever done.
Yeah, and your Morricone.
80s kind of everything, I guess.
See, like soundtracks are so important for like inspiration, because I don't know if it's the case with you guys, but I can tell you that my favorite movies that have made me feel deeply, and they all have one thing in common. They have an amazing soundtrack that's placed just right in the moments, and it really helps the story like reach you in a way. So I'm always thinking like, what works? What about that soundtrack is so impactful? You know, and it's like, and there's a lot to be learned from that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, another quick question for the youths. Sorry, that was a reference to a movie. So when I was young, I would like, if I was like enamored with somebody, I would like make a mixtape,
We do playlists.
No, it's a playlist.
Yeah. So what is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Spotify or?
Spotify,
Yeah.
yeah. Or
Oh,
Apple
yeah?
Music, I guess. What
Oh,
what
wow,
people
okay,
do,
cool.
this is what people do. They'll make a playlist, post it on their story, hope that the person they like sees it and clicks on it.
Ah.
Yeah.
You do that? I just
Yeah, I do
send
that. I
them
do like
straight
a manipulation
away.
tactic of like, are
Nice.
they gonna see
No,
it?
I just
That's
be like,
cool.
hey,
And
I
that,
made this playlist.
Oh.
And just
yeah,
send
well,
it.
well, that's like the soundtrack of everyday life. Is like, you know, when you're like on your way to school or work or whatever, and you know you have like that's important because it's all about experience. It's all about the day-to-day stuff, and that's why I say like the act of making music or the act of rehearsing to me is almost more important than the act of like finishing a song or doing a show. It's more about like that process of like, what do you do every day with your coffee or your time, you know? When you wake up in the morning, what, you know, those are the long-term important things. It's like the process of doing things, you know, instead of like finish the album or did the show or now we got to the thing that we wanted to get to. It's more about like being with the person that you love dearly, or you know, like enjoying the time. I mean, like I'm sure the two of you can feel that as well. Like, you know, that fun interaction of like, hey, tomorrow this thing's gonna happen, or like, hey, what can we do? Like, oh, I got this video, I gotta edit it, I'm gonna send it to you. Tell me what you think. Like that stuff is where the true joy, I think, lies. And sometimes we can get lost in expectations about like what we think things should be, or you know how. And I hate the word success is such a fucking asshole of a word because it's so empty, and you know, like I think it's valid when it is paralleled by like some process, like something that's happened that's like, I don't know, in my opinion. But like getting back, I'm rambling. Getting back, I think like the act of doing, the act of like discovery, and the act of figuring out, which like soundtrack is that, because it's this thing that accompanies like a whole album or a whole day or a whole, you know, like moment that you're in love with somebody or whatever. And so
I think I understand what you're saying, and I think I can summarize it. Check this out. Success is being able to do what you love and still have money to eat and pay your bills.
Exactly.
There you go.
Everything else is bullshit.
I don't agree, because like sometimes you don't have
Oh.
money to pay your bills, but you still can be happy. Like you can still do
Yeah.
stuff. I think it's not even about money. I think it's about being able to some degree keep things going enough that you can like, so maybe pay your bills. I don't know.
We're gonna get a fight here, guys.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, are you guys going on like tour, or are you just doing the one show for the release?
We're just doing this one show right now because it was like kind of like a release show. Literally,
This is just a celebration.
Yeah, this is more like
a process of like
Yeah.
COVID and all the stuff that came together because of like situation.
Yeah, it's a bit of a celebratory just moment for the end of the album, and just kind of trying to organize what the band's gonna look like and how the band's gonna interact and work, and who's gonna be, you know, making that happen. I think like more touring and whatnot, I think is looking like more like fall, late summer. We'll see. And we're like and honestly, we're like already like in the midst of like the next album. We're already like started working on. We got like
That's quick.
seven
was
like
fast.
honestly a good 10 songs kind of ready for the next album. So we'll see.
I like it. I like hearing the sound of people talking.
Yeah, makes it feel
Kind of cool, right? Yeah.
familiar.
This is actually how we started our band. We
Yeah.
worked in a place with this kind of noise.
It was a brewery in Rio, and it was always loud. And we would sit at a table just like this. We'd have our earphones. We'd have like a little keyboard and this
Oh, that's so
computer, and we were
cool.
like making music in a restaurant basically. And that's how the whole thing started. So this feels
Humble
very familiar.
beginnings.
But I do have a really big question
a
to
big,
ask.
big question.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I hope you're ready.
Oh,
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song? And please don't say any. Look it up on Spotify or something.
we ask a lot of people this, and
wait.
they go, "Who's Taylor Swift?" And they never like put a song.
They never reply.
There was I'm terrible with names, but there is
Okay.
a song that I was like, oh, it's a very good melody.
Oh,
And you guys got me because I'm so bad with names. Like
got him.
I don't even remember the names of ours. Hold up. I'm gonna look it up. It's
Just look up random
Going
songs.
through
somewhere
his
it's like
discography, like
1921. No, 1988.
1989.
1989.
That's
Yeah,
the
this
album.
one I
Yeah.
really
But
like.
that's the album name.
Sorry?
That's the album.
That's the album name.
No, I know, but it's in that album that
Oh.
that song. So if I can look up that one, that's the one I like.
I normally I'm like I have no problems like admitting to the thing like the what's the word when you have the band that you don't want anybody to know that you like.
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, normally like I'm very easy with guilty pleasures. I literally don't know Taylor Swift. Like I don't know. I don't know her music. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
do though.
But I will
Leah got
say,
points.
I will say I'm more of a. I really like. I jump more with like overall Lady Gaga. I like her.
I have a
lot.
Lady Gaga poster right there.
Her,
Lady Gaga.
her one song I like a lot is the Edge of Glory.
Glory.
That one
Edge
I
of
remember because I
Glory.
saw the video. Like it's got such a good 80s vibe and
Yeah.
like, I like the video too.
All right, so who is your guilty pleasure? The each of you.
Oh
Me?
God.
Oh God.
That's
Oh,
a tough
no.
one because I'm not embarrassed of anything.
No, me neither. We don't get embarrassed, I think.
Yeah, it's not embarrassing, but I think it's like
I
a band
have
that
one.
people. Yeah,
I
let's
have
hear it.
one song. I think Lennon's gonna agree with me.
Oh.
If we were a movie by Hannah Montana.
Wait, what? I
Hannah
didn't hear you.
Montana. Miley
Hannah
Cyrus.
Montana.
Oh
What
my
can I say? I
God.
like that
Alright.
song. We always sing
Oh my
it in the
God.
car.
I think my guilty pleasure, even though it's not so bad, it's the Smiths because I feel like anyone who listens to the Smiths is really
too.
pretentious and really awful. And, like,
There's
manipulative.
no. The Smiths are amazing, dude. There's
No.
I know, but the
But,
people that
who
listen to this
the
need.
Smiths, like,
Just because he's like a nationalist, Aryan, racist, like
Yeah.
doesn't matter. He's amazing. Dude.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm curious as to why you phrased the Taylor Swift question the way you did, as though I would be like questioning.
Because it's something different from like a different genre that you
Yeah.
like.
No, it's also
Here's
a
my thing.
lot of people give us
Music is
traction
what
about
you.
it.
Nobody can tell you what you should enjoy and what you shouldn't enjoy. If it speaks to you, then by God, that's music. You don't need, you owe nobody nothing in life.
yeah.
So if you
No.
love it, wear it proud, and to hell with everybody else.
How
That's
Swifty
true.
here. No, but the thing is, I can tell a person's personality from the song they like.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
Oh, okay. So,
And some people
okay.
hate her too, so I'll be like,
A lot of people hate
I
her.
don't hate. I find it,
misogyny there.
I think anybody who's having success, the type of success she's had in our day and age, is to be applauded. I mean, she's got her game together. She knows what she's doing. I mean, Adele too is another wonderful singer. Like, she's got some great tunes. Best Bond tune in the last few Bond movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody's got a. I find it funny that people like kind of like feel insecure maybe about like admit, who cares? It's music. Music is about
Literally.
Yeah.
what makes you move. You know, what speaks to you. And maybe it doesn't speak to me, but I have no right to be like, hey, you're not. You know, I judge you because you like this.
Yeah.
So,
You know what? Oh, you know what? A guilty pleasure might is. I've worked in a lot of restaurants in New York and in kitchens, and so I listened to a lot of like Mexican music. And there's a band that I find phenomenal, and it's Banda MS. I don't know if you know these guys. You should look them up. So it's music.
I've heard of
It's like música norteña from Mexico. And dude, it's literally it's so mind blowing. Like these guys have like 400 million views on YouTube. Just like in a musical
And it's a
standpoint.
band of like 50 people too. They're like 50
The-
guys.
The what?
There are a lot of guys in that band. It's like a bunch of people.
But listen, like it is a band where the main instrument is tuba, 6 clarinets,
Oh.
and like a drummer, and it's unbelievable. And like, but dude, some of these guys' melodies are like some of the most beautiful things ever. And so I listen to that. Like sometimes when I'm like drunk and depressed going home on the train, I'll put up Banda MS because like, dude, some of their music is so beautiful. But like what blows my mind is if you look at the videos, like the live version, it's like 100,000 people, and you look on stage, it's a guy with a fucking tuba, and like it's a clarinets, and you're like, oh my god, what is this, like middle school jazz band? You know, like band practice, and it's like it's super successful, and it's like clarinets and tubas. I find that phenomenal, and I find it so cool that it's like this niche market of like music that speaks to like the masses, and I really appreciate that.
You guys listen to music in other languages or just in English? Well, you listen to Spanish.
Portuguese and
Portuguese.
Italian. I like Italian music a lot. Like
I really like Santo California, Tornero. I think that's such a beautiful. It's from the '70s. It's the weirdest song ever. Phoenix they'll speak in English, although they have one song in Italian.
well, Kraftwerk is one of my favorite bands, and a lot of it's in German.
There's really good Brazilian music from the '70s that I really like Gilberto Gil and Jorge Ben. That's really like those guys are great.
Do you guys listen to reggaeton?
Dude, reggaeton is amazing.
Like
dude.
Bad Bunny.
I've heard
like,
some reggaeton. Yeah.
Like J Balvin and those cats, like it's really amazing. Like what they've
They're
especially like living in the
big.
U.S. I mean, the U.S. is like more and more a very like Latin predominated country. But I mean, like in New York City and Brooklyn, like all you hear is reggaeton everywhere. And,
Where
dude, Bad
am
Bunny's
I?
amazing. Bad Bunny, dude, that's such a good
love
song,
him.
man. It's really amazing. It's like
He's weird, like he's breaking all the
and
things
he's so
about
odd.
reggaeton.
He's like such a weirdo. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
Look my last thing that I was listening
Oh,
to.
that's on mine too.
Alright.
Hey guys, how'd you make the cover? We're so curious.
Lennon, what a great question. So
Yeah.
interesting enough, we were at Thanksgiving at my parents' house in Connecticut, and my mom's a photographer, and she has like a lot of like art supplies, and she like paints and draws.
A lot of origami paper.
And she had a bunch of like origami paper, and so we just started cutting up me and Leo started cutting up the origami paper, while like my parents were like making Thanksgiving dinner upstairs. We're in the basement. And then we just made this thing, and like my mom came down and took a picture of it, and then we went on a Photoshop, did a little like color correction, and that was it.
Thank you so much for
This was really great. We really enjoyed
Oh,
this.
thank you
Well,
guys.
thank you guys for giving us
time.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for taking the time to talk to us. Two schmoes.
yeah.
It was a pleasure.
great.
I feel like this is
Juliana,
our
thank you so much.
longest
This is our
interview
longest
ever.
interview yet, but it was our most insightful.
Really?
You know, a lot of
Well,
fun.
because we talk a lot, because we're lonely.
Yeah, but
And
well,
we're
you
like,
know
when
what?
anybody gives us attention, we're like, yeah, we'll talk.
You know what? That's why we made this show, because we're lonely. We need people to talk to. So
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was wonderful. It was one. Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys in Brooklyn soon. Hopefully, guys.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Have a good Sunday night.
Yep.
bye. Thank you. Have
Bye.
fun.
Yeah, have
Well,
fun.
thank you. Take care.